Let's make a brand new soap. So for this soap, I wanted the bottom half of the soap to be three colors. I wanted it to be really pretty, dainty swirls. So first I am mixing my oils, butters, and my water solution to emulsion, and then I am pouring off this container of batter and I'm splitting it up into three separate containers. Next, I'm adding my colorants. I'm using orange, dark pink, and a light pink. And I already had an idea at this point that I was using the wrong type of containers to mix these in, because not only do I have to mix them and keep my batter inside of the bowls, but I also still need to add my fragrance oil. So first of all, I grabbed my stick blender and I started blending my colors. I was going very slowly. I was trying very careful not to make this batter spill all over the place. So I added my fragrance oil to each bowl, and as I usually say in my videos, I like to stir in my fragrance by hand because I don't want it to get too thick on me. I wanted it to remain fluid. And while I was attempting to do this, some of the batter or the fragrance was spilling over, but I am nothing if not consistent. So I tried it with the second one, and then I just finally gave up and said I have to transfer these to a different container. So I poured each color into a larger bucket and then attempted to stir in that fragrance oil by hand. But I could already tell it's getting way too thick on me. So as I'm stirring, it's just getting thicker and thicker, anyways. And one of them just, I think it was the orange one, it just kind of plopped into the bucket. So this is when I knew I had to work really, really quickly. I'm definitely not going to get those dainty little swirls that I wanted, but I'm just going to go with plan B. So I'm starting with my light pink color and I am pouring this right into my molds. And when I say I'm pouring this, I am using that term very loosely. I am just kind of plopping it into my mold and then I'm just kind of smoothing it out with my spatula. And then I'm getting my darker pink color and just again doing the exact same thing and pouring it on top of my light pink soap and just scraping out my bucket and getting as much as I can into my mold. And then I'm spreading that around, and then I'm grabbing my orange batter and repeating again. Just spreading this all over my pink soap and just spreading it around. So again, my idea of some really pretty dainty swirls in the bottom half of this soap was not going to happen. It was 100% not going to happen. So I grabbed my spatula and I just kind of swirled the colors around in my mold, just trying to get all of the colors to kind of incorporate a little bit without getting them too muddy. And then using my spatula, I'm just spreading it around and trying to get the top as flat as I can possibly get it. So the top half of the soap, I just wanted it to be a neutral color. So I'm just making up another batch of soap and I'm not adding any colorants to it. I am adding my fragrance. I'm stirring it by hand and I am keeping this completely fluid. I stirred it just enough that I needed to, and then I'm just pouring this right on top of my soap. This was actually the consistency that I wanted for the other three colors, but that clearly did not happen. So for the very top of the soap, I drizzled some of the same three colors that were in the soap, the dark pink, the light pink, and the orange. I'm just drizzling that all over the top of the soap. And with the back of my spoon, I am just texturing the very top, and it's incorporating all three of those colors as I'm making this pattern. And then I'm sprinkling a little bit of eco glitter on the very top of the soap. This is what the soap looked like when I'd finished pouring it. I did post this little teaser on social media yesterday, and everyone on Facebook said it looked like bacon. And you're right, it did look like bacon, but it's not. The fragrance is Serendipity. And this is currently my second favorite fragrance. The next day, it was time to unmold and cut my soap. So I am cutting this 25-pound slab into 4 individual loaves, and then I'm cutting those loaves into individual bars. I was kind of preparing myself to be a little bit disappointed because I knew I wasn't going to get those dainty little swirls. But when I cut these open, look at those colors and those swirls. Um, these bars are fire. These colors that I got in these swirls are so vibrant and beautiful. They're even more beautiful than I had envisioned for my little dainty swirls that I wanted in this soap. So this, I guess you could call this a happy accident because this turned out far more beautiful than I had planned. And if you're wondering what these bars smell like, that Serendipity fragrance, it has top notes of apples and cherry, middle notes of coconut, bottom notes of brown sugar and vanilla. It is absolutely the most perfect combination of a fragrance. You will love this. These soaps are headed to my curing racks for the next 4 weeks, but they are available for pre order on my website right now at eartherella.com. But these will not begin shipping until the week of July 21st. So I hope you love these soaps as much as I do, but I do hope you're not disappointed that they're not scented in bacon. Thank you so much for watching.